Hey guys, my name is Lenny and today we are gonna set up a tekkit server together. I downloaded the tekkit server pack from the technicpack.net. I opened the archive in Total Commander. I'm gonna just extract it. When I extract it, I try to launch it. As you can see, there's some sort of error. If you Google it or if you think about it, it's a memory issue, and I have actually allocated more memory than I have. So I have to edit the file. You can do that in Total Commander by hitting F4, and I'll set it up to much lower memory. That stands for 1 GB. This stands for half of that. M stands for megabytes. Now I can try launching the server. It's gonna take a while as it has to create all the files. It's gonna prepare all the spawn points and stuff. I see some of the exceptions, but it seems it should be working. It's just that it didn't find the files it's actually creating right now. So yeah, a lot of files been created. Right now, let's just try it out. Yeah, so at least server is responding. We are gonna stop it right now as we need to set it up. Now we want the server to be running on specific port. Actually this one. It doesn't really matter what port you use, you just need to remember the number. I like to have whatever. I lost my thoughts. So we have set up the port, we have set up the server. Now what we need to do is open the port behind router. That means my IP is private. That means my friends cannot join me unless I port forward. Port forwarding is like telling your router what to do if someone tries to communicate over a specific port. So that's the reason why we had to remember the Minecraft server port. And right now in the settings of my router, the default gateway or the default IP is this one. The default login is admin. Each router will have different menu. You can find different tutorials on every type of router, but hey, they are pretty common, so it just takes some clicking around and see where the port mapping or port forwarding is. Here, sometimes it can be port mapping, it can be port forwarding, or whatever. You can see that I have already set up my server, well, the port forwarding for my server, and I'm gonna try to explain to you how I have done it. There are two ports, two pieces you need to fill in. That's the start port and internal port, I guess. This one will be filled automatically, or you might not even see it. You don't need to fill remote host. And I wasn't sure if it communicates over TCP or UDP, so I have checked both. This is just a name. You can type anything in here. This is just for you to see, well, to remind yourself of what was the reason why you port forwarded. And this is a little bit trickier. This is your internal IP. To get your internal IP, you need the command line. You need to type in ipconfig and search for IP version 4 address, and that's it. That's the first address in this IP range, as my notebook or my PC is the first one to be connected, so that's why I got the first one. It can be any number, it can be 192 starting, whatever. Just find this number and type it in here as a internal host or whatever. Just don't fill in the remote host. Then you can submit it and it should be added like this somewhere in the user interface of your modem. Now the validation, we need to make sure that the port is open, so I'll use some tool which I found on the internet. I'll type in my port and try to check if it's open. Now it's not gonna be open as the server isn't running. I'm just showing you what you can expect. So I'm gonna launch the server, wait for it to be fully loaded. And then I'm gonna try again. This is good. This means that we have set up the port forwarding successfully and the port is open. Now the server is already running. All we need to do is to log into it. And actually this is the IP that tried to log into our server. That's the service on this site. And you can even see it in the log of the server. So to connect to my server, I just need to launch the tekkit launcher. Wait a bit. By the way, if you get problems running the tekkit launcher, like you need to run it twice to actually get it working or so, delete all your Minecraft and tekkit launcher files in the application data. That helped me with this issue. First of all, we need to check options. Now, this tekkit server works with the recommended build, and it doesn't work with the development build, as there are some mods missing. Make sure you set the options properly, and make sure you pick tekkit from this menu. I'm gonna try to launch the client. It takes a while. Don't worry about the number here, that's just fraps. Now what I want to do is to log into my server. So I have filled out the localhost IP. That's like IP which points back towards you. That's a special IP. This is the port number. Yeah, it's self-explanatory, just log in. make sure you fill in the right port, and I mean and the server works. I hope this helped, and see ya.